Hello everyone, and thank you for joining me. I'm Liu Ye. Today I will present something about Sustainable Development Goal for Quality Education, with a focus on counseling education. So what is SDG 4 all about? SDG 4 is defined by the United Nations, aimed to ensure inclusive and equitable quality education and promote lifelong learning opportunity for all. But here is the thing. Real education isn't just about textbook or test score. It's also about helping students grow socially and emotionally. Counseling education plays a key role in this by nurturing students' social, emotional, and psychological development, which are critical to holistic education. Without integrating mental health and well-being, education system cannot deliver on SDG 4's promise.
My sister Mel was the most remarkable person. She was creative, she was intelligent, she was beautiful. She was the kind of person that made you a better person just from knowing her. We lost Mel in 2014 when she took her life.
Mel was my first daughter, my first child. It made a big difference to me when she came into the world. After her death, I had an experience which I suppose other people have experienced, the dream that she would come back, and it's the worst thing that ever happened to me.
Small Things is a book. The story is told purely through pictures, and it's about a boy who is going through some hard times with his studies and making friends. And those worries begin to engulf him, and he loses the ability to cope until his family member reaches out to him and shows him that we've all got different worries that we're all trying to manage, whether big or small.
My name's Penelope Hasking, and I'm a researcher at Curtin University, where most of my work is focused on supporting student mental health. University can be a really great time for people. There's a lot of new experiences, new friends to be made, but it can also be very stressful for some students. We know that 1 in 3 university students actually meet criteria for a mental illness. Most commonly, anxiety, depression, panic disorder is also quite common. For the past 5 years, my team and I have been conducting a survey here at Curtin University, inviting students to complete an online questionnaire about their mental health and their support networks and their help seeking. Last year, we developed an algorithm that can not only tell us who has tried to take their life in the past, but will actually predict who is going to be at increased suicide risk over the coming 12 months. We also give these students a phone call, check in with how they're doing, and we can work with them to develop a safety plan.
This survey could potentially help people by providing them with that information early before they reach a crisis point. So they will then have that information and know where to go to before they are at that point where they feel like they're hopeless, like Mel was.
With the algorithm embedded into the surveys, we were able to identify 86 students at increased risk of suicide in the coming 12 months. Importantly, 75% of these would not have been identified with our previous method of screening students at risk. What this demonstrates to us is that we can use a relatively simple survey to identify students who may be struggling with their mental health, that we can reach out to them proactively, that we can link them in with services, with GPs, with psychologists, and that this will have a significant impact on their mental health in the future. To make sure we can continue this work and to reach out to as many students as possible, we need your support.
Let's first take a look at the current landscape of counseling education research globally. We have seen significant growth in recent decades with an increased recognition of mental health importance. Universities worldwide are offering counseling programs from undergraduate to PhD level. However, this growth isn't uniform. In high-income countries, school-based counseling is part of the educational ecosystem, but in low- and middle-income countries, access is limited due to the funding policy and its stigma. UNESCO reports that many nations lack of the trained personnel needed to provide quality psychological support in school, so the challenge is counseling programs often lack standardization, cultural relevance, and curriculum coherence, and these disparities affect learners' mental health and academic success, especially during the global crisis like COVID-19. While progress has been made, specific gaps and disparities in counseling education research persist. For instance, there's often a lack of standardized curricular research across different countries, leading to inconsistencies in fundamental knowledge and skill set. Resource disparities are stark, and some institutions lack of adequate funding for practical training facility, experienced supervisor, or up-to-date technological resource. Furthermore, research on inclusive within counseling education is still nascent. Are we adequately preparing counselors to work with LGBTQ individuals, people with disabilities, or diverse cultural backgrounds? There's a need for more research into cultural responsive pedagogy and supervision model. Addressing this gap isn't just about academic rigor. It directly contributes to achieve SDG 4's goal by ensuring that future counselors are exceptionally well prepared to serve all segments of society, promoting equitable and inclusive access to mental health support. Clear, despite growing global recognition of the importance of counseling, many education systems lack standardized, inclusive, and cultural relevance counseling education programs to prepare professionals for nowadays school environment. And why this problem is crucial? Because this limits the capacity of school to support student well-being, undermining academic outcome and lifelong learning goals. And without addressing this gap, the core promise of SDG 4 cannot be fully realized for all learners. Let's contextualize this problem further. The identified challenges in counseling education are intertwined with broader global issues, the rising prevalence of mental health disorder, and persistent social inequalities. In many parts of the world, mental health support is either non-existent, stigmatized, or of questionable quality. Good counseling education trains professionals to help students manage this challenge. Without that, we see more dropouts, more violence in school, and more students just checking out. Counseling plays a huge role in building strong, inclusive schools that can adapt and thrive into the future. The importance of addressing this challenge cannot be overstated. Compelling evidence suggests that investing in mental health service delivered by the well-trained professional lead to significant positive impacts for individuals. When students have access to school counselor, they tend to do better academically, show up to school more, and handle their emotional better. For school, counseling also helps create safer, more positive school environment and even reduce risky behavior. On a big scale, investing in counseling education also improves public health, reduce inequalities, and boost the economic. So it's a win for all around. Despite the challenge, there are incredible innovative approaches emerging in counseling education. We are seeking exciting development in online and blended learning models that increase access, especially in remote areas. Telephone supervision is a bridge for geographical gap, allowing students in underserved regions to receive high-quality guidance. Second, social-emotional learning programs, just like from the castle, are improving student outcomes across schools. Third, countries just like Kenya, India, and Philippines are creating peer support systems and culturally tailored counseling models. A great example is from WHO program. It offers affordable training for low-resource settings and integrate mental health support right into the school and clinic. Then we move to the final slide. SDG 4 cannot be achieved without embedding quality counseling education into national and school systems. It's not optional, but essential for learning, mental health, equality, and lifelong success. By investing in counseling education, we support holistic development, mental wellness, and educational quality for all. Let's make counseling education to be a certain strategy for a sustainable, inclusive future. That's all for today. Thank you for listening.